The Honest Money podcast is brought to you by Prescient Investment Management. We consider everything to give you the advantage. It's the future of investing. Prescient Investment Management is an authorized FSP.
Hi there, Honest Money and Warren. Thank you again for an awesome show. My question for the week is, we've heard a lot of talks about investing in gold, especially during COVID time. The gold price shot through the roof, but there's little talks about buying silver. Silver is a precious metal, and the reason why I'm asking this question is a friend of mine, he has been stockpiling silver because it's a precious metal. It's used in a lot of things. How come there's no talks about investing in silver? What are your thoughts of it? And I'd love to hear what recommendations you have. Thank you.
Welcome to Honest Money. We're answering your questions today, and the first one comes from Charles about silver. And I think it's an interesting question, Charles. Investing in silver, it's very similar to investing in gold. So you're buying a commodity. So you're buying something which doesn't generate any rent, doesn't generate any dividends, doesn't generate anything. It just kind of sits there, and you might have to pay some money to look after it. If you buy a lot, you'll have to pay a vault, to store it for you safely. And so your logic in buying it will be that you think someone will buy it from you in the future at a higher price than you will have paid for it today. That sounds very obvious, but there's a huge amount of psychology that goes into this, because people tend to buy those precious metal commodities like gold and silver primarily when they're worried about the future. They're worried about political risk, or they're worried about geopolitics where there's wars, and they're worried that the whole system's going to fall over. So those people that think that the financial system's going to collapse, those kinds of concerns, then they'll buy a physical commodity that can be traded when perhaps money can't be used anymore. When money's electronic and the systems go down, at least you've got something you can trade. The other group of people that will buy a physical commodity will be those that are worried about inflation. So they'll buy it because traditionally gold and silver have been a good hedge against inflation. When inflation is rising, the price of those commodities go up. So making the call to buy into those now, you have to decide what you're worried about, or if you're not worried about anything, what are other people worried about, so that you can make some money out of this. There's no point in buying an asset which sits in your basement for the next 10 years, and then you sell it one day because you got tired of it, and it's just cost you money, taking up space and taking away from growth that you could have had in other assets. That's called an opportunity cost. So I'm as you can probably gather already, I'm one of those that's not a big fan. I think there are people that have made lots of money out of trading gold or trading silver. And I think that, there will be times when it'll work incredibly well for them. But there are also long periods of time, 5, 10, 15-year periods, where people could really lose money on a commodity. When they buy it at a very high price, because the world's in a very high state of fear, and these people believe that the world's going to get even worse. And then they buy their commodity, and 6 months or a year later, the world's better off. The state of fear reduces, and they're sitting with an asset where they paid 1,000 and it's now worth 500, and they've got to wait to see if the world's going to get fearful again. And it's a tough way to kind of make a living. So for me, I think I'm not a big fan of holding either gold or silver. So your question was quite specific. Why silver as opposed to gold? The answer, Charles, I think is pretty basic. It's just cheaper. It just per ounce or per kilogram, it's simply cheaper. So people find it a bit more affordable. There are some more industrial uses for silver than there are for gold, and so the market for silver might be a little bit more diverse. I always think if you're going to go for the standard in terms of if you're buying it for safety, then there's a reason why it's called the gold standard. Go for the highest standard. Go for gold. If you're trading and you believe that there's an inflation story or something like that, then maybe you buy silver. And I guess the other option is that you don't buy any of those. You just buy an exchange traded fund, that has gold or has silver as its underlying value. So you don't even need to store the stuff. You could just buy it as you would any other exchange traded product. So potentially there is an answer there for some people. When I study the world's wealthiest people around the world, and I look at where they allocate their money, some of them, and these are families that are sitting on enough wealth to fund 4 or 5 generations of the family, they'll typically have, I don't know, 4, maybe to 10 or at most 10% of their assets in a commodity. And that's really pure insurance. They're not trying to make money out of it. They hold it so that if the unforeseen happens, the world goes into a major war, the aliens attack or something, whatever it is that we can't foresee today, they've got something that's of value that they can use in pieces to trade for something else that they don't have. So they really store it for really like a real doomsday scenario, which is great when you're worth billions of dollars. But if you, like the rest of us, not worth that kind of money, and you wouldn't mind building your capital to get there, just buy companies, just buy exchange traded funds, or buy a general equity fund, where you buy businesses that are going to generate growth, that are going to generate profits and generate dividends, reinvest those and let the money grow. And don't worry too much about the commodities. Don't worry about what your mate is doing, Charles. It's not that exciting. It just makes him feel good. I hope that helps, and thanks for your questions.
The Honest Money podcast is brought to you by Prescient Investment Management. We consider everything to give you the advantage. It's the future of investing. Prescient Investment Management is an authorized FSP.